Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I have guests with me, Chelsea and Katie. You've seen them before. So we are doing an original book tag because we couldn't decide on what other book tag we wanted to do. There were too many. So we just went with making our own. It is the Midwestern book tag. As you know, I lived in North Dakota. I now live in Minnesota because I'm crazy and like the cold. Which, by the way, is hilarious. It's snowing outside and these two are freezing. It's great.
It's very cold.
They're tropical flowers. It's fine. So,
AKA we live in Colorado, just in case you're curious what tropical means to a Midwesterner.
Warmer than here. Anyway, we came up with 7 different questions related to the Midwest, and we're each going to take more or less proportionate ones. So we're going to start with the best book slang. Katie?
Alright, so you may notice I'm holding the same book
From the last video.
For this, again, representatively, we are referring to the Red Rising trilogy because we particularly like the invention of the word bloody damn.
And gory damn. They're just
gory
really
damn. And Kari brought up that this was classist, which I appreciated. Like, it's very much like different classes use different slang words.
When he goes to gold, he has to use bloody damn.
Yeah.
And red is gory damn.
Yeah. Right?
It's that or the other way around.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're curious, ask Pierre Ford. She'll know.
Yes. But anyway, we like that. It's always fun when an author invents like a new swear word.
Which I've used.
And by the way, this is Midwestern just because Midwesterners have their own little...
Oh, the O's are long. I don't know if you've noticed, you may have, but my O's sometimes go really long, and my sister has called me out on it. However, in my defense, I still do not say bag or flag or rum, as opposed to bag, flag, or room.
It's only
not
a
that
matter
far.
of time.
It is not.
It's coming for you.
I may say Minnesota and North Dakota, but I do not.
I do not.
In fairness, everyone likes saying North Dakota.
North Dakota.
It flows.
That's great. Or boat.
Yeah, boat. Yeah, we gotta go out on the boat. Although, Katie says oofed up, which is also a Midwestern thing.
I learned that from your house, though.
That is also fair. My parents are from Duluth.
So, does not prove your point.
There's no hope for me. The next one is the dialect or accent. The most prominent accent you've read in a book, or the most memorable.
So we chose Outlander.
Which I do actually own, we just didn't get it.
It's far away. It's obviously been made into a TV series now with the very hot Jamie.
Sam Heughan.
He is the best out. Highlander. Anyways, you've got the British, which is like my heritage, that accent, and then you have the Scottish, it's a fun read. It's great to read.
And it's written into the book.
Yeah, although I have to say, having tried to speak Scots with a lisp, which Jamie has at one point, is really hard.
And there's lots of books. And I think there's still more coming, so...
There you go.
It's a good time to invest.
It's a good time to invest.
It's just like Game of Thrones, which is up above my head. Number 3 is a winter setting or read. For this, we went with War and Peace, which is the book that only I have read. I've mentioned it before, I read War and Peace and Les Mis at the same time. Don't ever do that. Just don't. Give yourself time, please, for the love of God. The only thing worse would be reading those two and the Lord Arthur at the same time, because they're all over 1,000 pages, and just don't. Save yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still really enjoyed War and Peace. It is set in the Napoleonic Wars and Russia's involvement. You watch noble sons go off and maybe get killed or not. It's interesting. There's no Cassandra Clare bringing characters back nonsense. It's actually well written.
Once they're dead, they're dead.
There's no coming back. There's no zombies, none of that crap. But I loved War and Peace, and it's set in Russia because Napoleon, like a moron, decides that invading Russia is a good idea.
Stay warm, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, stay warm. If you also want another really atmospheric read, The Bear and the Nightingale is fantastic. Or you can just step outside Minnesota. Either way. But War and Peace focuses a lot on the relationships and also on the setting of just being in Russia, where it's cold and frozen and you go to Siberia and die. Now that we're on a very light topic there, we have number 4, which is the nicest character. And I'll let Chelsea explain this one because she came up with it.
So if you've ever heard the Valley of the Clan Bear, and I think what's the whole trilogy called?
It's Cave of the Clan Bear and then Valley of the Horses or something.
And
I don't know what the series
it's basically
is
a prehistoric series, so it's like Neanderthals and like early humans, and the amount of research that this author has done into this topic, like she spends paragraphs, if not pages, describing like the fauna and what it would have been at that time. But the main character is Anya. And Anya the first book is like a very good character. She's like a human that's being raised by Neanderthals, and so they think that she's like, you know, odd, and that she's the dim-witted one, which is not the way we would view Neanderthals now. But as she goes, like, this girl just can't have any flaws. Like, she invents sewing, she invents horseback riding, she invents fire, and at one point, the sports bra. And, like, it's super annoying from a reader's perspective. Like, this one, she doesn't have any characteristics. Like, she's just perfect, and because she doesn't understand, she thinks she's ugly because she was raised by Neanderthals, but of course she's perfect and beautiful. Everyone else thinks she's beautiful. And it's just, like, a really annoying character, especially as a woman, too, where you're already being held up to, like, ridiculous standards. To, like, read a character that can do no wrong and just keeps accidentally inventing any major thing that's ever happened is just hard, and she's too nice and too boring. It doesn't make her realistic at all.
Agreed. Yeah, I've read that book. I haven't continued the series, though, because the research was a little overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah, I read them all. There's a lot of fun.
Kudos.
There's a lot of fun.
I wanted to know who discovered sewing, you know.
Yeah, but yes, it was Anya.
Spoiler alert, it was Anya. It's weird we don't learn about her, you know. She should really be on the dollar bill.
As opposed to Eli Whitney, who invented the cotton gin and therefore global warming, Anya.
Anya, she's really...
Oh, Miller, that's for you. The next one is the blandest, because as a white person whose family is predominantly Scandinavian, our food is all potatoes, butter, and sugar. And I'm not really being facetious here. I'm not, I promise. It is literally all potatoes and meat. We eat a lot of red meat, although my personal family eats a lot of chicken because I don't know why. We just do. This is what happens. But anyway, so we went with the blandest blandest books to match up with the blandest food you can possibly eat, unless you're just straight up eating a potato. Because we put butter on it.
They were good this morning.
It's true. We went to brunch and they were really good potatoes. The eggs were lacking salt.
They were.
Anyway, so we went with Shadow and Bone. Yep, Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. This is the first book in the Grishaverse trilogy, which is set in the same universe as Six of Crows, which is one of Katie's absolutely favorite books. She's been talking about it nonstop all weekend.
I really like it. It's fun.
See? And we went with this trilogy not because it's a bad trilogy necessarily, but because there's absolutely nothing unpredictable or uncalled for in here.
I think it's a bad trilogy.
I gave it a 3 stars because it's still a solid trilogy. Like, it's well enough written that it's not bad, but it's just not something I'm necessarily going to reach for again.
Right?
Oh, bird! So
I
this
take
one
my
is just...
imaginary tea with that.
So we just went with this one because it's less exciting and you can see everything coming a mile away. And as I've said before, if I can predict it, there is something wrong. I don't predict things. These two do. They are brilliant that way. I'm not.
Yeah, Katie's really fun in movies.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure this is what's gonna happen.
I think it's the
It's
donut.
not even that. It's, oh, this happens. And then 5 seconds later, or better yet, 5 minutes into the movie, what are they doing? Are they still struggling? Give it more than a song.
I don't pay attention sometimes.
It's really too dramatic. There is no middle.
It is, yeah. Tangent, but Shadow and Bone bland. The next one is the most dangerous, which is the weather here, and that one goes to Katie.
This one, we chose The Handmaid's Tale because the patriarchy is always dangerous. And yeah, Handmaid's Tale is, I was actually just talking with a coworker about this recently, about how, like, Handmaid's Tale, it's not meant to be like, this is what's coming in 5 to 10 years, but it's still, like, it's meant to, like, put a spotlight on things that are happening, and say, like, just so you know, this is problematic, and, like, here's the scarier context so you can see just how problematic it is.
And by problematic, we mean look who we elected in the last one.
So anyway, Handmaid's Tale, the patriarchy, it's all dangerous. And wait, why did we have this category? Oh, because the weather here is crazy.
As you
cold.
may...
There was literally a polar vortex.
And I had to walk to work in that. No, literally, like 30 people died.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, a lot of them were rough sleepers or homeless people. And in Rochester, anyway, we don't have a homeless shelter.
Huh.
So people are just out there freezing to death in negative 54 degrees because we don't have a homeless shelter. And the library closed.
Oh gosh.
Anyway.
That's something that I think is really interesting, is the use of libraries by social workers, and, like, how the library is increasingly becoming kind of a social working enterprise.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
With opioids too, right? Like, in Denver, they deployed Narcan so that which is an emergency drug if you're overdosing.
Yeah.
And they just deployed it everywhere because they're like, well, they are using our public restrooms to do it. So instead of being like, that's bad, it's like, what do we do to really give the librarians the tools
that they need to.
And they were so badass already. And now they're literally saving lives.
I have
Thank
a
you,
book
librarians.
literally called The Badass Librarians of Timbuktu. Right there. By Joshua Hammer.
I want to read
Have I read it yet? No. Do I want to? Yes. Did I buy it for the title? Completely. But going back to the tag, because we get off on tangents all the time, we'll go from snow to politics and back. It's just really weird. But the last one is The Cold-Hearted Villain. And for this one, we went with Graceling. Katie and I have read this. Chelsea has not. So for the sake of not spoiling her, I am not going to... Okay. Lex is a sadist and tortures children. So he is probably one of the most cold-hearted villains I know of, simply because he does that. And I love watching what happens to him. Katza is amazing, and I
don't remember any of
I know
this.
you don't, but I do. I love this book. You've heard this before because this book is like amazing and my shrine almost.
Oh, is it over?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna let her stay there for a while. But yeah, Lek is just a cold-hearted bastard who deserves what he gets and doesn't care. And when you read it, if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. It's fantastic. That is our Midwestern tag. I hope you enjoyed. Please pardon our tangents. Like I said, we got off on them quite a lot. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave comments if you've read any of these books or have other reactions than we did, because we're always looking for recommendations. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Bye.
Stay warm.